Welcome to the Data Science series. I'm Light, and welcome. It's nice to have you. Now, right now, we're going to start off learning about data and just playing around with data, which is going to be fun. And you can go on the GitHub to get the code. I recommend you do that. You get the code. You just go and download it. There should be a link in the description, so that's good. So download the data from the GitHub, and then you can go in in your Google Drive and just open it up in there in Google Colab. And then what I recommend also is you have the thing open, and then while I'm talking, going over it, you create a new Google Colab page, and then you type everything out. It's just gonna type in everything out in the thing. It's just gonna make memorization, understanding much easier. So we're gonna start learning how to play with data. That's the foundation of data science, is data itself. And most of your time is actually going to be spent just playing around with the data, cleaning it, trying to get it correct, because data is in its like unrefined form. It's really messy, and you kind of have to tweak it and move it around just so you can feed it into your machine learning stuff in the future. So to start off with data, we're going to start with two libraries, Numpy and Pandas, and these are the most popular. I have the code written here, so you can see you have to import it. You can import Numpy, and then with Numpy, it's mostly about arrays. So you can see Numpy array, and then this arrange thing is creating an array, but it's creating an array between 0 and then 20 with a step of 2. So this number is where you start, this number is where you stop, and then this number is the step, and then we print it out right here. You can also create arrays of just zeros, and you can see I created a matrix, down here. It's shaped four rows and then 4 columns. And then you can also do the same with like zeros. You can do the same thing with ones. And in the future, you're going to have to know this a lot. You're going to have to pass certain things like into your machine learning algorithm for like the training, and you have to make sure that it's the correct shape. So to see the shape, you can type the name of the array dot shape, and it'll tell you the shape. And then also important, you can reshape it. So you can see we have this array of ones, this matrix, and its shape is 4x4, and we reshaped it to 2x8. So you can see we did that. And then in NumPy, you can also create random numbers. You can see here np.random.rand, and what this will do is it'll create 4 numbers, and the random numbers, they're in between 0 and 1. So if you want to like increase it, like you can just multiply it because it's like by 1. But you can also do this random ran int, and this will give you an integer. So it's between 1 and 100, and it's an integer, so there's no decimal places. And this one, it says 40, but when you print out yours, it'll give you something different because it's random. There's also this Lin Space, and it gives you even space numbers between an interval. So remember, with the arrange, you have the start, stop, and then the step. And here you have 0, 100, start and stop, and then 4. So give me 4 numbers between these values, between our start and stop. And then if you've taken math before, you know that there's an identity matrix, just basic high school math, and this np.I will give you that identity matrix, and it's this one I put 4 there, so it's a 4x4 matrix. Okay, and then you're also going to have to get stuff from your array. So you have this selection, so we have this array 7, and then it goes row, column. That's how it works. So array 7 back here, if we go, so it starts at 0, so 0, 1, and then, okay, so in this one it's just the column itself because I didn't put anything after this. But in this one it's 1, 1, so 0, 1, and then 0, 1, and it gives you 1 because that's how it works. It starts at 0. And then here we're doing slicing. This little colon, it means get everything afterwards, and then the colon before it means get everything before. So you have 0, 1, 2, and then get everything afterwards, but we only want like the 2, so it's really weird. But that's how you select stuff. And then finally, we're gonna end here with the NumPy stuff. You can do all these mathematical operations on your array. So minus, plus, times, divided. You get the square root. You can find the max, the largest number. And then you can find, the SOHCAHTOA, so sine, cosine, and tangent on it. So that's NumPy, and I didn't go over everything because it's a pretty extensive library. So in the future, you're gonna forget stuff, it's guaranteed. But in the future, I recommend you just Google things, or you can just go to the NumPy documentation, and it'll be fine. So now let's go over pandas for data, and you can see up here importing pandas. This matplotlib inline, I don't actually need that right now. That's okay, but you do need this Google Drive because I put the data in here, and it's in my Google Drive. So I mounted the disk, so I can go get that data from here. And in pandas, there's two things. There's series, and then there's data frames. This is a series. You can see it's kind of like a little table, but data frame's like a fancier table. And we have this df, read CSV, and then we're reading this file down here, this cancer file. And this is gonna be really cool in the future. We're gonna use this in a neural network and then machine learning stuff, pretty much to see, like, you're going to put in a bunch of data, and then it's going to predict, like, do you have cancer or do you not have cancer, because machine learning is really big in diagnostics nowadays. Now, where did I get the data? I got it from a site called Kaggle. It's right here. In Kaggle, it's just a big site with all this data, and there's competitions for AI. It's really cool, but it's mainly just where you find data. And you can see this is all the data that it has on people. And then the most important thing is this DX cancer. Do they have cancer or do they not have cancer? Because that's what we're predicting. And then you can get all these statistics on it with this df.describe. It tells you the count, everything in here. So how many values, means, standard deviation, min, max. And under that, we can do group by, so we can just get, if we don't want all this other stuff, we can just get the age. And then I called the describe method on the age too. So it's just getting this stuff from the age. It's useful, this group by. And then finally, actually maybe I should bring the matplotlib back. Good. Okay, so finally I plotted this chart. In pandas you can do plotting. It's not that great. We'll see how to do visualization in the future more. So df.plot, and I did a scatter plot, and then on the x we have our age, and then on the y we have whether the person had cancer. And you want to see, like, if age affects like cancer, and you can see the lowest value for cancer it's actually in the teens somewhere, and then the highest is in the early 50s. So that's interesting. So we'll keep looking at this data in the future. what I suggest now that you do is you go to your random Google Collaboratory notebook, and you just you get the data, and then you put it in here, and then you type out all of this. You just retype everything out, and it'll just get you in the habits of practicing playing around with data. So I'm happy you came here. Hope that was helpful, and that's how you play around with data with Numpy and Pandas. In the next video, we're going to learn about visualization, how to visualize data and graphs.